All right, time for our Faber report. Let's get to it. Of course, did want to update people on those continued talks that are going on. In fact, moment by moment between T-Mobile, its parent company, of course, remember the German telecom company Deutsche Telekom controls T-Mobile.
Right.
Sprint, which T-Mobile is trying to buy, and Dish, the large direct broadcast satellite company that owns an enormous amount of spectrum that conceivably is going to become a real player in the wireless market in this country. And of course, not to be forgotten, the Department of Justice and its antitrust division, which is trying to figure out a way that there is going to be a divestiture of enough from T-Mobile to Dish to really create a fourth competitor in the wireless market in this country. So where are we? Well, I mean, they were talking as late as I'm told, 11 o'clock last night.
Go buy Dish right now, dude. Go buy Dish right now.
And some keys here, Jim. T-Mobile and Dish have largely agreed to a divestiture deal. That's not really as much the issue, according to people familiar with the situation at this point, as it is the DOJ's continued concern that it's not quite enough and that they want more out of T-Mobile in terms of making sure that Dish is in a position to start competing pretty quickly. Now, Charlie Ergen's Dish owns a lot of spectrum, and it will agree, or it will have certain parameters or certain metrics it has to hit in terms of bringing that spectrum to life and creating a 5G network nationwide. But it also wants to get up and running fairly quickly, which it conceivably could do so given a capacity agreement that it would be a part of this deal with T-Mobile. However, I am told that there are a few issues that the DOJ is focused on. And one of them is pushback from T-Mobile saying we only want Dish to have access to or the ability to use what would amount to about 12.5%, I'm told, is the number of our total capacity. In other words, I'm not even sure how they... Well, they're saying that's what we want, or that's what we feel good about. DOJ is pushing back and obviously wants it to be unlimited.
But the DOJ, David, that's the government.
The DOJ has a pretty good position here because if they don't get what they want, they conceivably will sue to block the deal, and the deal's dead. David, by the way, you've already got states that are suing to block this deal. However, if the DOJ assents and you get an agreement, as does seem, again, I've been reporting this for weeks now, likely. Yes, Dish has the money. Dish also will be in a position, Jim, if they get this deal, to raise plenty of money, it would seem.
Oh, my God, yes.
Now, another area of contention, I'm told, is that Deutsche Telekom / T-Mobile is pushing back on the idea of Dish bringing in a strategic investor at more than 5%. They say, okay, 5% is fine, but you can't bring in somebody, let's say a Google or an Amazon, you name it, who would invest as much as a 10% stake or more, which obviously would have the effect of bringing capital into that company as well. So there are issues.
But it's a win.
There is the ability, Jim, to resolve those issues, it would seem. There does seem to be on the part of the parties involved and the people that I'm speaking with who are familiar with these negotiations telling me they do believe they're making progress. They are exchanging drafts, as you might expect, and conceivably by as early as next week, they will actually have a deal under which...
Do you know how you've done if you bought these Justice Department giveaways?
Under which Dish will have an ability...
Do you know how you've done? And also all the oligopolies they've approved, whether it be Ball or Lindy. I mean, David, this is the giveaway that I've not seen since Constellation Brands got Modelo and Corona.
Well, but what the DOJ, I think, would say is, if you don't approve this deal, first of all, what happens to Sprint? What is Sprint?
No, they need that because of 5G.
What do they do? Does Masa throw more money into Sprint? Doubtful, right? So what do? Do you sell Sprint Spectrum? Who does that go to? Possibly.
You have to have
sell it to Verizon, or do you sell it to T-Mobile?
No, that just makes it...
So you have a,
right.
I guess the point is, do you have a real fourth competitor if this deal dies, is one question. The other is, well, if they can actually agree to terms here that Deutsche Telekom and T-Mobile are okay with, is Dish in a position to really compete on 5G nationwide in a period of time?
Dish needs a partner.
They need capital, which they conceivably would be able to bring in.
David,
but they start brand new. They don't need to migrate anybody from an existing network. They have the spectrum, Jim.
Comcast?
It's not a function of the spectrum.
This network?
No, it wouldn't be a Comcast.
No, it would be somebody.
So we'll see.
David, this is a huge piece of news.
It's more incremental. It's more incremental.
No, this is not.
We've been reporting on this for weeks, as have virtually every single news organization. But at least we can give people an update.
You're too self-effacing. To me, when you get these examples, of when the Justice Department forces a divestiture, the buyer has historically done incredibly well. I don't know why this one be any different. FTC, on the other hand, look at Rite Aid. Oh, man. They wrecked Rite Aid, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I'm staggered that Dish is. They come up with.
Well, there'd been an expectation that Charlie Ergen, who is a notoriously difficult man to negotiate with, I happen to personally think he's a really good guy, but would stand in the way. But this is a real opportunity
it's just
for Dish
fabulous for Dish.
to
give
give itself the optionality that he's been sitting on for so long, waiting and waiting and waiting.
Does it matter? Dish Spectrum.
It's good Spectrum.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Spectrum. Right.